Okay, so maybe if I put you under a little bit of pressure here, and I'll put myself under pressure as well. Let's see if we can come up with our top 3 things that parents need to consider when choosing a school. So I'll let you go first.
Location's really important. How far away is the school from your home? How long is the travel distance going to be? Is it going to be mum or dad that's bringing the children to school, or are the families going to have to rely on bus transportation? As being with expats in Dubai, we don't all have that extended family there to help with a drop-off or a pick-up. So our families do have to rely upon the transport. So how long are the children going to be on the school bus for? How long is mum and dad going to be travelling in the car for? And fees. Fees are really important for our families. People's packages have changed over the years. Not everybody receives a really healthy schooling allowance. Some of our families are paying for their school fees out of their own pockets. So price sensitivity is there as well.
And that's one thing that I've seen certainly over the last 12, 13 years that I've been in the region, that packages have changed. Parents are a lot more discerning as well. And the international schools market is far more competitive.
It is definitely more competitive. And are parents receiving value for money? Parents having to pay additional for bus transportation if they don't have support of the family to take the children to and from schools. So what are they getting additional? Are they receiving after-school activities as part of their school fees? So people are looking at the whole package and not just looking at the education. They're looking at after-school activities, transportation. Parents here need after-school care if they're both working as well. Reputation, word of mouth. Do your research. There's lots of websites out there which will guide you to different schools to look at, which one fits your child's best needs. Speak to friends and family. Go on the school tour, and then hopefully you can meet some other families there. There might be other families from your community as well that that go to the school who you can meet. Talk to the children. You know, when the school team are taking you around the school, are they welcoming? Do they know the children by name as well? And how do you feel when you're going around the school? Does it feel like somewhere that you would feel comfortable with?
And I think that that's probably something that's incredibly important, but maybe not necessarily to the forefront of people's minds when they're researching a school is the atmosphere. It's incredibly important.
It is.
And it's, atmosphere is one of the key elements of our learning improvement process here at ISP. So very, very important when parents are considering a school.
I've given you my 3, Rory. What are yours?
Well, I have more than 3. You'll be surprised to know, or you won't be surprised to know. But I would say, again, I can't really get away from the concept of schools providing as many opportunities for children to flourish. And that can come in different guises. It can be through our ILOS programs. It can be so exposing them to different activities, different sports, different performing arts. It can come in within the classroom. So a teacher being really, really adaptive in their teaching and providing an opportunity for the student to be in that good struggle so that they can uncover another opportunity or uncover that feeling of being empowered through their learning. Or it can come through the academic achievement side of things. Getting that piece of paper at the end of 13 years in your school is very, very powerful. And seeing the students go on to their future pathways, going on to their universities of choices, again, that's probably another consideration that I would have in my mind. But again, all of these things boil down to the atmosphere of the school and the culture that has been fostered by the leadership team, by the teachers, and also by the central office team. I can't leave them out as well. Parents have a lot of choice in the region now. That might not have been the case even 10 years ago, never mind 25 years ago. What are some of the considerations that parents should have before they decide to switch schools?
Well, Rory, you know, we're in our re-enrolment season at the moment. I think all schools in the UAE are. Really have to consider, are my children or is your children happy in the school? People seem to make very rash decisions, very quick decisions, that something might have not gone right in the classroom, something might have upset the child or the parent. It hasn't been resolved, and parent thinks it's a really good time for me to move schools now. No, you have to consider the long-term options for your children. Are they happy? Are they thriving? Are they achieving academically? And if they are, what is the real reason to be moving your child? If they're happy, they're thriving, they're learning, they're exceeding, keep them where they are. Are they happy? Are they thriving? And are they learning? Are there opportunities within school for them to learn beyond the classroom? You mentioned earlier on around after-school activities. There's opportunities like the Duke of Edinburgh, trips overseas, trips within the UAE as well. All of these things have to be factored in, and look at the whole package that you're receiving, not just something that might have upset you, and make a quick rash decision. I've seen it before where families have made that decision, they've left the school environment, and then within 2 or 3 weeks of school restarting in September, the families have returned to us because they've realised that what we are offering here is what they want for their children.
And I've been in that situation where I've had the conversation with parents as a head who wanted to move their children out of the school for one particular reason. And I've always said to them, the things or the thing that you may not like about this school, you might find addressed in another school. But the things you like about this school, you might not like in the next school. So you're right, there's a myriad of factors that you have to consider before you make what could be a life-altering choice for your child.
And with that being said, lots of families are not just moving within the UAE. ISP, we now have over 100 schools globally. Our admissions teams are there to support the families. And if families are looking to move overseas, come and see our admissions teams. We can support with a transition and a move to one of our schools worldwide.
The Middle East in particular, the UAE and Qatar, they are transient places. And we have a globally mobile expatriate community that come into those countries and out of those countries. How can we help with that from an ISP perspective?
With over 100 schools in our ISP network, we're there to support our families. We've had families move from other ISPs, say in Spain or in Vietnam, and we've had families that have moved to us as well as going out. But that's where we can help and we can support our families, and we understand that not everyone's going to be in the Middle East long term. As much as I've been here 15 years, you've been here 25 years, some people are only here for a couple of years. But we're here to support the families on their education journey, whether it be here or in another country.
And I think that that's also the beauty from my perspective in terms of seeing educators move from different regions for other opportunities in our sister schools in Asia, in Europe, in South and Central America. It's very, very powerful to see those educators move to our other regions to be able to exploit those opportunities for growth.
Yeah. And we see sometimes these families go back to their home country and then a couple of years later they come back again, or they're still contacting us to move to one of our other schools as well. Which
is the best endorsement we can hope for.
100%.
So thinking back then to that first tour that you did, you said that you toured 3 schools, but that first or second tour that you did, what were some of the things going through your mind?
How welcoming the staff were on the day. Even from the initial phone call, even from the initial looking at their websites, but actually visiting the schools, how welcome do we feel? And was it the best fit for my children? Saying that, I've worked with many families over the years where I remember one family had 4 children. Not all of her children were in one school because one school wasn't the right fit for all of those individual children. So she did 4 school runs in the morning and 4 school pickups, which must have been really hard for her, but she did what was best for her family. And that's what we needed to do as well. Like I said, my daughter went down one pathway of A-levels, my son went down the route of BTEC. And at one point we were going to move schools for him to a different BTEC school. But he stayed where he was, and we're glad he did that. But it's about making sure you're comfortable, your children are comfortable. And I think that's the most important feeling, that when you walk into a school, does it feel like home? Does it feel like your children will be looked after? If you think about it, your children are longer at school awake than what they are at home sometimes. They come home from school, they eat, shower, sleep. And the people that you leave your children with on a daily basis, they spend more time with them than what we actually do. So for me, making sure they're safe, nurtured, learning and happy. That's the most important thing.
Absolutely. And I think it's a subtle but crucial distinction to make between schools here in the Middle East and the part that they play in the community and in the lives of our families. Because I think they probably have a more central role to play than perhaps the schools that you or I went to back home, or the schools that they're coming from in their home countries. Because it is the fulcrum of the community, it is where they engage in after-school activities, where their friendship base is, where their well-being is looked after, all of these things. So.
100%, and we're all expats here. And you've touched on it on community there, where we don't have our friends and family from back home with us. So if you're choosing a school, it's good for it to be a community school where you can meet new friends and family, new friends, and they become your family in the end because they support you. After school activities that we have in the school would be, oh, I'll pick your child up for you, I'll take your child home for you, and it becomes your family. The school of friends become your family.
So Dawn, you've seen both sides of the coin as an expatriate family relocating to the UAE, and obviously now in your role as regional head of admissions. What are some of the things that parents should be considering when choosing a school?
That's a good question. For me, making sure that the children and you as a family are happy and comfortable. Your children spend a lot of time at school, so they need to be happy where they're going. You should also be looking that your child is socially, emotionally happy and they're thriving and achieving academically.
Very, very important. Okay, Dawn, so we've come to the conclusion of the episode. We always like to throw some rapid fire questions at our guests. So I'm just going to ask you some very, very quick questions with 1 or 2 word answers. Ready?
Okay, go. I think.
Favorite holiday spot?
Thailand.
Favorite food?
Pad Thai.
No surprises there. Okay. Favorite music?
Oh, it has to be between pop and R&B. If I asked my kids, they'd say pop.
Favorite city?
I'd have to say Bangkok. It's not. Yes, it is.
Yeah, Bangkok's the city.
No,
If you weren't in admissions, working in admissions, what do you think you'd be working as?
I think I'll still be working in the airlines as cabin crew. Seeing the world.
Seeing the world, traveling, advising people on what to do and where to go.
No, I'll just be taking myself there and advising myself. So Rory, throw them back at you. Favourite colour?
Blue.
Why?
I don't know. I don't know why, actually. That's a good one. Blue or navy? I tend to have a lot of clothes that are just blue and navy. Takes the guesswork out of life.
Yeah. We just thought it was the same suit. That's not.
No, I've got like 10 of these.
Oh, okay. Just clarified. Favourite drink?
Favorite drink? Well, obviously, as an Irishman, you know, the nice black, creamy stout brewed in Dublin. That would probably be that. But if I couldn't have that, I would say something like a Diet Coke.
Favourite holiday spot?
I would have to say Tuscany.
Romantic.
Very romantic.
Very nice. Least favourite holiday spot?
Least favourite holiday spot? Wow, that's an interesting one. Gosh.
Where's the worst place you've been? You think, oh my God, I'll never go back there.
The worst place I've been, probably Ireland. No, I can't.
Don't put this out to the Irish folks.
I love Ireland. I don't really know. Yeah, I've had some interesting experiences in sub-Saharan Africa. That's all I would say.
Okay. There's a story there.
There is lots of stories there. Yeah.
Favorite movie?
My favorite movie of all, can I pick two?
Okay.
Okay, so anything by Martin Scorsese, but I would say Goodfellas, and maybe Casino as a second, and then the third one probably The Big Lebowski.
No, you said two. You didn't say three.
Sorry. Okay.
Don't take advantage.
There would be my top three.
Okay.
Yeah, top three.
Okay. And genre of books that you would read?
I haven't read an awful lot of of fiction books recently. The last book that I read was called The Captain Class, and it was about leadership in sports and how that translates over, and that was really, really good. So I tend to read a lot of books about leadership, but in different guises and in different contexts. So Dawn, thank you very much for taking the time out to speak with us today. It's been fascinating having your insights and hearing about your journey to the UAE and into your current role, and wish you all the best.
Thank you. It was a pleasure.